Hello ladies, gentlemen, and those that don't identify themselves in that binary. I'm the Ski, and welcome to my Pokémon Shield Nuzlocke. So, after getting the grass badge, we begin to head out of Turffield along Route 5, ready to fight some trainers, do a bit of training, and get ourselves to Hulbury so we can fight Nessa, the next gym leader. So we head across the bridge that was blocked to us before, and we're on Route 5, and immediately come across two people, which looks very much like a double battle. So, time to swap some Pokemon about. In this case, well, we want to level up MGMT. Going into a double battle, probably not the safest for something that's quite a low level compared to the rest of the team. So, head in and find this interviewer and camera person. So this would be our second double battle, but the first double battle where we are using both of our own Pokemon. So there we go, Clink and Helioptile. So we started with Korax and Mulder. Now Korax is vulnerable to the electric attacks, which isn't great, but we'll try out and see what happens. And there's Mulder, who hopefully can put up some defences, keep us safe throughout the fight. So Pluck, effective enough to do half damage to Helioptile, but not massively effective. But we do have to take an electric attack on Korax before the shield goes up. After that charge, that's Clink getting some power. So Korax, if we take a crit, we might well lose Korax at this point. So swapping out's probably the most sensible option. And we're moving to MGMT, who will be resisting the electric attacks. It should be fine. And then Mulder can try and take out Helioptile with a confusion. This is MGMT's first real outing for us. I was very excited to find out how they do. Confusion didn't quite knock out the Helioptile, but not too much of a problem. And the Charge Beam, thanks to the light screen, didn't do that much, although it did upgrade Clink's special attack, making it much more powerful for the next time this happened. So Thunder Wave to slow the Clink down, Confusion and Helioptile to take it out, and we should be fine. Though Mud Slap does a fair amount of damage to MGMT, and of course reduces accuracy, which is not great, but the Thunder Wave still goes off, halving the speed of Clink, so we should be well ahead as we move forward. Interesting thing about this generation of Pokemon is that when speed changes, it changes immediately rather than at the beginning of the turn. So putting a paralysis early on in a turn is actually really helpful in this generation, whereas in previous generations it wasn't. Taking out Helioptile levels up Korax. The maximum we can go to is level 24 now, which is the highest level Pokemon of the next gym. After taking a Metal Sound, Mulder's special defense fell, and as we know, Clink's special attack had increased. So I was thinking it's probably about the right time to move Mulder out of this fight. MGMT has quick attack, so we could get some damage in and see what sort of damage it would do, but it really was time to move Mulder. So having had a think, looked down at the list of Pokemon, thought about Barkley, because Barkley does have our good friend Flame Wheel, but that would do the damage quickly, and moving Rupert in will level up Rupert a little more and move us towards getting some of those fighting type moves that Stuffle and Beware do get, but at quite high levels for a Pokemon with that typing. So Clink begins charging again, upping special defense, which, special defense not too much of a problem for Rupert, and with MGMT doing a quick attack, that's going to be standard damage, not special damage, so I wasn't too worried. This time, he hit the Clink and did almost nothing. Rupert's payback would be more powerful, except Clink has been paralysed, so he's moving slower than Rupert. And of course, The other option that Rupert has is Brutal Swing, but this would hit MGMT as well, which would have been a problem going forward. So, using Payback again, not going to be able to double the damage, but doing enough that it shouldn't cause too much of a problem. Having swapped out MGMTs for Barkley, we were ready to take out the Clink pretty quickly, provided Barkley wasn't taken out in one go. Payback did some damage, moving Clink to half damage, and Barkley was able to soak the special attack pretty well. So Barkley, Flame Wheel, it's Barkley's signature move. I'm going to be very sad when we have to replace it, but needs must. So in comes Barkley's Flame Wheel. Super effective, and the Clink is taken down. Overall, a pretty good double battle for us. Lots of Pokemon moved in, so we've managed to move through everyone, level up a couple more Pokemon, but mostly get that experience spread out among the party, which is going to be important going forward. After the double battle, I decided instead of taking a gift Pokemon I would head into the long grass, and before I had a chance to swirl, I ran into a Spritzy. Spritzy isn't a Pokemon I've actually used at all, other than just catching one and then leveling one up to get the evolution. I've never actually used Spritzy in a game, so I was actually quite excited to have Spritzy on the team. Started with the MGMT and paralysed Spritzy so that we would be able to have a much easier time catching it. And the amount of damage Spritzy did meant I had to swap MGMT out almost immediately. The next choice was quite difficult as to which Pokemon I could put in that wouldn't do too much damage and would reduce the Spritzy's health enough for us to be able to catch it easily. I went with Korax because Korax still did have a few less than entirely powerful moves. And the fact that Korax could probably take a couple of hits also didn't hurt with that choice. Spritzy cured itself of paralysis, so good to know that it has aromatherapy as a move. I decided to start then with Pluck, to do a fair bit of damage, see how it is, but as it did less than half damage I thought this was perfect. A couple of Plucks will set this right up for a capture. Next turn, I was debating whether to bring in another Pokemon just to get the experience up, but I used Pluck again. And that put Spritzy into the red, only just, and then a Draining Kiss followed, which brought Spritzy back out of the red again. It's quite a nice little moveset, Aromatherapy and Draining Kiss. It meant I probably couldn't Pluck again, so I went with Power Trip on the basis that it was likely to do very little damage, but still knock Spritzy down. I thought into the red. Unfortunately, I was wrong. Spritzy then failed to use Attract, which worked very well for me because, well, for one, the move doesn't work. Especially on Korax. Korax is too smart to be attracted, and mostly because the move only works on opposite-gendered Pokemon. It also meant that I would have Attract available when I caught Spritzy, which I did that turn, as you can see. Experience points happen, and, well, you can see that Rupert was very close to the level up. As was MGMT and Mrs. Snowy, so we got 3 levels up out of 6 Pokemon, which was quite good. We got the ability to put Shockwave on MGMT, giving an electric attack. I mean, Thunderwave technically is an electric attack, but it's a status condition attack, and something that does electric damage I thought was a really good idea. The problem with that, of course, is that that electric attack would be near useless after the next gym. Thankfully though, the next gym was the water type gym, and I thought, great, we can use MGMT for that. So we added Spritzy to the Pokédex and needed to come up with a good nickname. So Spritzy is a perfume Pokemon, and the most iconic perfume that exists is Chanel No. 5, so I went with No. 5. Now, I had to think about whether Spritzy would want to go into the party, but I decided that at the moment Spritzy wasn't going to be as useful going to fight Nessa, so boxed. After that, I went back to the Pokémon Center and then returned to Route 5 and headed down to level up MGMT. So, decided to do a bit of grinding against some Pokémon and came across a Lombre. Now, I had an encounter with a Lombre before. I had a thought. Do I want to use MGMT in this fight? One level down, but the Lombre will be super effective against MGMT because it will probably have a move like Absorb, one of the grass type moves. So I moved into Molder because Molder before was able to take a Lombre a much higher level. And Molder this time was a few levels above. And as you can see, the Absorb came out from Lombre, so it was a right sort of switch in. And Strugglebug was enough to do quite a bit of damage after taking another few meagre amounts of damage from the Absorb. Not quite half damage, but enough to stop the special attack coming back at us. I mean, I know 2 hit points per attack is, in this case, 3 from the Absorb is terrible, but decided that more special attack drops would be useful. So in came the second Strugglebug. Brought Lombre into the red. Dropped the special attack even further. So one more Strugglebug and everything would be ours. We took a little more damage from the water gun, but not much after those attack drops. And the Lombre went down. So I was feeling pretty confident at this point. Got some more XP. Molder hit level 20. Barkley hit level 20. It's a real shame that Barkley is just not going to be usable at the next gym, but Barkley single-handedly won us the grass badge, so I wasn't too upset. Barkley also forgot Leer, learned agility. It's a slightly better move, but I don't see it being used as much. I continued going round to fight and ran into a Drifloon. Now, Drifloon is weak to electricity. So, MGMT, step 1, Thunder Wave, half the damage. Drifloon uses focus energy, makes it much more likely that Drifloon will get critical hits. I'm not that worried. So, I was happy. Drifloon's paralysed. I can get a shockwave in, see the sort of damage MGMT can do and what we can expect against Nessa. And that's a Drifloon a few levels above MGMT, who used Hex. With a crit. And MGMT went down. Our first loss of the Nuzlocke. If there was ever a time for my capture card's backing music not to come through, it's this moment, when MGMT became the first casualty. Rest in peace, MGMT. Battler in 1, maybe 2 fights. Still, we had to carry on, and out came Mrs. Snowy. Mrs. Snowy is an ice type, could definitely do damage against Drifloon, and with Ice Shard would definitely go first to avenge our fallen little pupper. So down went Drifloon, just like MGMT had before. This left a bit of a predicament, as, well, the party now didn't have anything that was super effective against water. So MGMT, unfortunately, was released, and we had to pick a new Pokemon to take the spot on the team. Number 5, our new Spritzy. Pretty good attack, pretty good special attack, all round okay. And some pretty good moves. Echoed Voice, Draining Kiss, Aromatherapy and Attract are all moves that I might use. Aromatherapy a bit more specialist, but useful when it happens. And on that sombre note of our first loss and having to replace MGMT, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe. I've been the Ski, and as always, have a lovely day.